'Cause I did not do that yesterday and I meant to. Peace and love, peace and love. So today, Conundrums of Blackness. It's amazing. What was I just looking at? Because I definitely want to give this person this channel. The African History Network. I believe that's what it was. I want to definitely say it's amazing that I caught his live today. And what he was sharing, he's still on. Michael M. Hotep. He's still on. This video, even though some of it is like the whole video is not totally related to some of the things I want to touch on this part one today. But he really broke down some situation. Hold on. Yeah, he really broke down some situations that are going on, and like literally, I'm not even going to put anyone in this in my life. Honestly, when I'm listening to him and he's still talking and I'm not gonna cut it on. But he brought up adultification of black youth and black little girls. And it's just amazing how it came up because I've been trying to figure out there's a puzzle that I'm dealing with. And I've been trying to figure out all of the moving parts. And the only way you can do that going backwards to a situation, you have to have the data. You have to have the data. So I've been accumulating data for the past 2 years, and I'm noticing severe patterns in our family. I'm noticing that both of the grandmothers, forgive me, I goes and make a big plate of spaghetti before the live. Both of my maternal parents, both of my grandparents, grandmothers, both of my grandmothers, my dad's mom and my mother's mom, both of these women refused in their lifetime to protect their children. And I'm only speaking to my parents. Even though they came from two different worlds, um, both of my grandmoms did not protect them. Um, One chose to pass for white, is what the records are showing. And that, I want to sit there for a minute with the grandparents. When this person passed for white and made the decision to leave her son black, Mr. Michael M. Hotep said, "You only protect what you respect." He said that. When he said that, it hit me, and I sat down. I got my paper and pen because I have been going back and forth for a while with a lot of information that everybody doesn't know. And then I've also been trying to understand what psychologically is actually happening here because I've noticed, even since my daughter got sick, even since when my husband left me in the street with her with a car seat, I noticed now looking back how unprotected I really was, even amongst family, friends. And I'm not bringing this up to bring up issues individually, but I'm talking as a collective. This is why, like, I want Conundrums of Blackness to not like keep going on and on, but every other week I'm coming back with more layers to this conundrum. So my dad's mom may not know how she actually psychologically impacted him. And I honestly believe dark skin blackness was an issue for him as well. Well, I actually know it was. Um, this passing thing and this class structuring that my ancestors went through, and I mean my recent ancestors. Me and my dad's birthday is 3 lifetimes apart because the age limit for us living now is low. I don't know, like y'all have y'all standard number, but us out here who don't really have family structure, our number is low. My brother, the age limit was 21. I was told I wasn't going to see 21, but I'm 44. So I made it through the cracks. And peace and love to someone who I really, I'm sorry to hear that passed. I've been dealing with a lot of emotional stuff. And after that, I really went no contact with a lot of my maternal side simply because it was time. So, what is a conundrum? A conundrum is a layered problem. Matter of fact, let's look that word up so we can give because that's what I hear when I hear conundrum. I'll be like, ugh, layers, ugh, problems. But I'm gonna give you the internet terminology: a confusing and difficult problem or question. Blackness. When I hear the definition, that's why I see blackness. Like I think of blackness as a class here. Um, A conundrum is a difficult and or confusing problem to solve. It is characterized as having no clear right answer. It can be a literal problem such as a riddle or a brain teaser or a situation that is difficult, like choosing between two things that are difficult to compare. Yes, blackness. Very hard. Simply one because no one is trying to put blackness down. But no one and no one is trying to see how actually how much work really needs to be done. And I'm starting to believe that I'm a laborer at this point. I do know there's not a lot of people looking at the family structures on my end and doing anything about them, being bothered by it. Most people are content with the way everything is. And I get that. Everybody has their own journey. I have my own journey. I was assigned long before I got here, clearly, because this has just exploded. I thought by now everything would be balanced on both sides of my discovery. 2 years is a long time. And I wasn't like a fog. I was like in this fog because I was happy to find family. The only thing is, I'm not happy about how I became family, and there's no way around this conundrum of my existence because of my blackness. And I say because of my blackness because of my grandmothers. They carried my mother and my father in their wombs, and their mother did. So we're literally connected. I believe that for both sides because I have two parents. Now, When I was coming up, I had elderly people around me. These people were godly. I was supposed to mind them and listen to them and respect them, like my grandma, my adopted mom, and the community. And this is how little girls like me, this is what we had to deal with. But what happens when one individual or more really couldn't be trusted, but nobody knew that they couldn't be trusted? Wouldn't it take a child to say something? What happens when nobody believes the child or takes the time to care? Or what happens when the child fear the adults so much that they just stay quiet? What then? How does that help us as a people? Because where does that environment come from? And I'm so glad that I caught this live right before, and I mean right before, because I was going to take a nap. I was laying down, I said I'm going to take a nap. First, welcome, welcome, welcome. Grand Rising. Happy Friday. Welcome to Conundrums of Blackness. I know everything is looking a little different on my channel simply because I am going through a lot of changes at one time, and I'm just now getting where I want to get back and get consistent. I'm having some technical difficulties with my audio, my microphone. So I have to take a day off and do some changing around with my laptop. Other than that, I will just be doing some lives for the podcast here and there. I will not be lazy enough to not add a thumbnail. I will work on that this weekend. But today, Conundrums of Blackness. This is definitely going to be a two-part or maybe three. The abandonment in our bloodlines, in our inner circles, in our families. Is it not a problem? Is it a problem? For me, when I look out on my relatives, I can only speak for one side. And going no contact is not even for me to do. Just from my knowing, a lot of our youth have been abandoned. I was left in the hospital. I was literally left in the hospital. I literally just found out who my parents were. And honestly, just found out the whole story on Mother's Day last month, to be honest. Some more came out. Because my mother had stopped talking to me because I saved her life. I really do believe she was upset. And I'm only assuming that because she didn't tell me that. But I do believe that she was the man. She probably wouldn't even want me to know that. Because she know I love her. I don't know what. I don't even know if she's ever been loved like me and my brother loved her. But my brother's been going 26 years. I had no idea the condition of my parents. And being adopted sometimes can be a curse and a sacrifice because there was information that the people that had to care for me and nurture me, they needed to know. But there's another layer here. Dealing with who we are as so-called blacks. I'm a little black girl. I remember going to Catholic school. I was a little black girl. Um, we were never ever like protected. Teachers beat me. Mommy was like, you're gonna have to beat her. Everybody said you always gotta beat me. That's all I did was get beat. This is why my aggression is the way it is because of how I was raised. It's not learned. Well, it is learned behavior, and I'm sure it came from my mother being born a sharecropper who took me home. My dad being abandoned by his mother who wanted to pass for white. I know he was mad at blackness because probably because he couldn't pass for white. So why would he look at blackness as a good thing? That's what he was left in, as she had a better life. There's so many layers to this blackness. And I'm just grateful for being able to recognize it because I want more and I want better and I love being set apart and I love the data and I love the analysis because it actually gives me room to grow and stuff keeps getting given, like things are being revealed. I'm literally sitting here earlier thinking about what I'm going to talk about, what angle was I going to come at it today, and Michael Imhotep comes right up, not literally like basically saying what I was going to say, of course, but he was bringing up the adultification bias, where he said it. I love it. You only protect what you respect. So let me see where this picture is. Because I took a screenshot of a clip of this document. I don't know if I'm going to put it in audio. I'm either going to put it in audio or we're going to do a StreamYard on it and I'll just share the screen and go through it. A social or cultural stereotype that is based on how adults perceive children in the absence of knowledge of children's behavior and verbalizations. Like, I literally just went through this week. I literally went through it a lot with my DNA test. The stereotype, I can hear it. And matter of fact, it's deeper than that. I was treated the same way. Refusal of my so-called family, social and cultural home, the refusal of these people to protect me after being born here is so conundrumish. It's unbelievable. My mother is still going through that to this day. From both sides of this mess. How does a teenager get blamed for something an adult does? Only when they're black. I've been there. Please don't make me give you an example. Please don't make me give you an example because you will tremble. I have a lot of stories. This is why I added agoraphobia is real, because agoraphobia, and I don't know if this needs to be expanded upon to break it out of just societal settings, but it fits. Agoraphobia comes from not being protected. It comes from you watching adults adultify you and others for decades. Even me at 40 years old, it still bothers me when I see people adultify children just in the name of protecting what you respect. It's a problem in our community. It's a huge conundrum. A social or cultural stereotype that is based on how adults perceive children in the absence of knowledge of children's behavior and their verbalizations. I even went through this with my daughter in high school, which kind of helped me know that I needed a homeschool her. The black nurse told me that she needed to be a strong black woman when dealing with her insulin. When she was high and when she was low, she was going to have to come out of having a medical episode and be a strong black woman. This is what I was told. So my daughter was at risk of dying every day with this woman for a stereotype. And this behavior has become so normalized. I mean, normalized. And on top of that, this comes from slavery. Let's just cut to the chase. The treatment of little black girls that was getting, you know what, child probably is babies too. I've read a lot of stuff. This behavior is reinforcing. This is why I say I feel like y'all really scare me. And I've been vulnerable with so many people, and I hope I don't live to regret it. But I'm just really, 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 really grateful that I'm noticing these things so that I can try to make changes in my own home. And I did. I really did. It even changed my structure, even with dating and being around, bringing people around me, and it all changed. Everything changed. Even before I learned that this was really a thing, there was just a feeling. And it could have been my ancestors just reaching out and trying to save me, trying to help me through this. God, the Most High, like my cousin say. You know, and everybody want to talk about God, but when are we going to start cleaning up this mess that man has done made with us as a people? You're not going to get no godly people out of people who are still reinforcing stuff that was used in slavery. Adultification is new. I'm sorry, adultification is not new. It happened to two generations of me and my mother, and ain't no telling what happened. Ain't no telling what happened before us. Well, I know on some lines what happened before us. This form of adultification, which is based in part on race, is the subject of this report. We gotta break this report down. I'm not gonna do it today. So there's a snapshot. Every document has an executive summary, and you know how we are. We love documents and data over here, baby. Snapshot of the data. Compared to white girls of the same age, survey participants perceive that black girls need less nurturing. Black girls need less protection. Black girls need to be supported less. Black girls need to be comforted less. Black girls are more independent. Black girls know more about adult topics. Black girls know nations. Our findings revealed a potential contributing factor to the disproportionate rates of punitive treatment in the education and the juvenile systems for black girls. So that's just talking about school and the juvenile justice system. But what about at home? What about at grandma's house? What about around those uncles that can't keep their hands to themselves? Michael O. Imhotep said, "You only protect what you respect." And I heard somebody use these words the other day, and I said, wow. And this is where I realized what was happening here. Most people are not going to see past the surface in their emotions. This is the same thing that happened when what happened to my mom a long time ago. Nobody wanted to do. Nobody wanted to protect her then. Nobody wants to be in a line where she should be protected now. Loss of respect and dehumanization of us as a people is a market. And it's amazing how we do it to each other. Yes, the system does it. Yes, racist people do it. Yes, we're doing it too. This is only a study for at school and the justice juvenile system. I would love to see the study at home. They probably wouldn't even be able to do it because the damage is already done because nobody's ever cared. I'm 44 years old. I'm 44, I believe. Matter of fact, let me make sure I'm 44. Because here's what happened. I had COVID for my birthday, right? And I was sick, so I didn't like really acknowledge my birthday. I just was like, thank God I'm alive or whatever. So I really don't know how old I am. And I don't know if it's long COVID or what is going on. But this is real. Because I just asked myself the other day, I have to look up how old I am. Okay, I am 44. Sorry, y'all. But yeah, it's like I didn't really, like, it's like I can't remember having a birthday. Because COVID was like really, really, really kicking my butt. So, abandonment. When you don't protect these little children, what would you consider? Okay, say, okay, if I'm the neighbor, I mean, I've always looked out for everybody's children, you know. So I really there's so much that I'm trying to comprehend, you know, still to this day. But I pretty much understand exactly what happened, and it's still happening. And this is why I know on my mom's side, this is why she's gone. And I wish to God she had trusted me enough to fight this battle with her instead of her just disappearing because I would have. But I do understand that she probably felt after all these years, why would I fight for her? Nobody ever had. So it's just very disheartening to find this document. But it was a gift today because I didn't have any documents. I knew I wanted to talk about the abandonment from um, my parents, what my parents experienced, because it does tie into me. Look what happened to both of them. My dad was turned into a black and kicked off like his mom passed for white, and she left him like he was. And then my mom's mom literally let her. I mean, did not handle. Oh God, I can't even say it. It's even worse. It's even worse. So it's like it's a one. It's just you got two people, one not protected, the other one more would more be very protected than my mom. One being a male, even though he was left by his mother, but having an issue with blackness, and I don't blame him. I have one too. I wouldn't internalize it or use it against some other dark skinned people. Like I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't sit and call nobody roaches. I wouldn't sit and look down on nobody because they've been oppressed by a whole government of people coming here as immigrants and as indentured slaves, servants. I would not internalize it to my own people. That's the only thing I don't get. But that goes to all of this DNA being mixed up in us. Ain't no telling what kind of DNA be activated and when. We're so mixed. I have found enslavement all over my tree. Now I have a few trees. One of my trees, all of them are immigrant enslavers. So when they say Britain won, I can't tell. And number two, if these people was running from being treated unfairly, I don't understand how they turned into monsters. You know, it's kind of hard for me to relate to some people on my tree. There's a pastor on my tree who I'm sure sexually assaulted um, a mother. She's literally titled slave mother on my tree. I match her with DNA relative descendants because I'm sure they was breeding her. A reverend. So I even wonder sometimes, okay, yes, we as people and children need to be nurtured, protected, supported more, comfort more. We need to be less independent and more able to be in a nation. We need to know about all topics. And where is the community reflecting that? Where? There's I don't see that happening. I don't even see people talking about how we going to fix some of this stuff. I get the God thing, but faith without works is dead. Like, what are we going to do about it? I don't know what you're going to do about it, but I know what I'm going to do about it. I got to stay aware. And I've already done a lot about it. I've broken a lot of chains. Even me speaking power, speaking to this disgusting situation that I have been thrown up into, even having to deal with that, I'm grateful that I'm learning that what happened to me and my mother was not okay. And it bothered me enough to make a change for my daughter. Nobody protected me. Nobody protected my mother. To this day. Do you understand me? I had to really, literally run for my life and get in the shelter away from people. Black people. My own people. So yeah, it's a conundrum. This is a conundrum. Y'all gotta forgive me. I gotta get a tooth pulled and I don't know how I'm gonna do it. Because I'm scared of the dentist and I'm scared of the doctor. I'm scared of the OBGYN. So I got stored breeds. And I just, where's the safe space? I don't. It's to me. It's even insane to expect anything good from this place. I did not even know them. This was an industrial. Like this is not even a nature. This is an industrial place. We're on the list. What the industrial at the bottom for like mortality rates for black babies. We're at the bottom of the list. I didn't even know this place is industrial. This is like a human farming zone. Where you gonna get nurturing out of something industrial? Where you gonna get protection out of industrial when they already done turned our ancestors into breeders, being bred, the act of being bred to be born, and then grandchildren and great grandchildren. What are they supposed to do? I'm praying they get assigned a purpose. Does it work like that? I'm being hypothetical here. Because I got a few people on my tree that are hypothetical. It's unbelievable what they have done here. And what they want to call it and celebrate every year on the 1st of July when Kentucky Furnace was running in 1776 and those people was enslaved. I'm trying to understand, what are y'all celebrating? I've said that even before I knew about the Kentucky people. I don't understand what no one is celebrating. My mother was born to work on a field. Catherine. She was born in 1914. What? are y'all celebrating? They fought for Jim Crow up to civil rights. What are y'all celebrating? I don't know. I'll never understand it. I don't even want to try because this is a conundrum. When you have a conundrum, you just get the data and you get out. And this is why part one, the black family, the art of the black family abandonment is becoming an art at this point because it's so intricately designed to be less nurturing, less protected, less supporting, less comfort, forcing us to be independent in a system that already hates us, forcing all these topics on us, adult topics, and everything you can about SDX. They've been doing that since I was a child, and God forbid if before I got here. How healthy is our family today? And if you are in a healthy family, keep it, protect it, respect it. Because Michael Imhotep said you only protect what you respect. So clearly, we don't get no respect. Clearly, I didn't get no respect. Like, that is my reality. So it's hard for me to look at people and have it. I have grace. I have that. I can give people grace. Because I know. I just know. I've seen the ugliness. I was born from it. I can't have my mother because of it. I can't have my father because of it. I can't have my siblings. I can't have my own siblings because I is this. Now, what kind of you don't call that a conundrum? Listen, the art of the black family and the abandonment, the art of black family abandonment, and agoraphobia is a result of that. This is why I fear my own people. I don't normally talk like this because I'm really not a fearful person, but I will say, if I have to put a words to this emotion that I have dealing with us, unless we literally connect, and I want to say I honor every connection that I have right now. They are amazing. My cousin is going to get me. He told me to take a few days off, and cousin, I promise you I am, but I won't lie. This is a passion for me, which is good because that means that even though I'm still creating, that I'm not stuck in a depression mode and spiraling out of control. So I love you so much, cousin David. I'm still gonna take my little break. I may do a collaboration tomorrow afternoon if the opportunity arrives. In a week and a half, the week after next, we'll do part two of the art of black family abandonment. And agoraphobia is a result. If you do not know what agoraphobia is, let me enlighten you. Now, I don't know if this would be the clinical term for what I have with like black people and family, and not like all black people, because I'm meeting some beautiful people. I don't even see them as this dilution of black. I see them for who they are. We all done our DNA, so not one DNA result says black or white. So that's, I don't really. Most people can't perceive that because that is all you know is somebody is black or white, which is like a really disservice to your intelligence. You know, agoraphobia is an anxiety disorder that involves fearing and avoiding places or situations that might cause panic and feelings of being trapped, helpless, or embarrassed. I got that. Because guess what? They gave me that when they sent me down to North Carolina lying on me saying that I was a crack baby, knowing good and well what I really was. And they're beating me. They embarrassed my whole soul. My soul, no, my soul. knew who I was and knew I had been cursed and knew I had been sacrificed. I just found out. So my nervous system has a lot of catching up to do with the reality that my inner being already knew. So that's 40 years of split energy has affected me. And my trust issues are valid. And I adore people that can make me let my guard down and me not regret it. But yes, um, there are a lot of causes of agoraphobia, genetic factors. I'm pretty sure that has a lot to do with it too. History of trauma, meditation, self-care, and lifestyle changes. This is why I had to go no contact because people don't even understand that I'm having an issue. Like people don't really understand that I'm not okay with what happened to me and my mother. And no one wants to be accountable. Absolutely no one. So I've got to do that by myself. I'm looking at my daughter. I can't give her a family because of this mess. It's a conundrum. Conundrum. The art of the black family abandonment. Abandoning the black family was the nail in the coffin here. 492 pages of abuse. AB 3121 is a current document. It's actually newer than this document. This document came out in 2017. Girlhood. What's the name of it? Girlhood. I shared it in the community. Girlhood interrupted the erasure of black girls' childhood. So the thing is, this is from 2017. You should read AB 3121. It's worse. It's worse now. This is why I wanted to homeschool my daughter because I could tell that she was being adultified and being treated under bias because of her skin and because of her environment in a black classroom being ran by a teacher who is non-black. I went through it. I even went through it with the black nurse. So it's social at this point. It's programmed. And our own grandmoms and our own parents and our own fathers, our own siblings, our own cousins, our own nieces, our own nephews, it's all programmed. And it's been that way for generations. This is why a lot of us have a lot of things that happen to one, then another came and it happened to them too. This is why it keeps happening because everyone wants to ignore it. God don't like ugly. That's all I know. God do not like ugly. Period. Peace and love. Peace and love. This is part one. Part one. Part one. I'm gonna pull up again. We'll be back. We'll be back. We'll be back. I love you. Please be safe and aware out here. Love on your loved ones. Life is too short. Things have happened in our past. We need to start addressing them and fixing them because you never know when it's your time to go. And I will say this, I'm writing my obituary. And it is going to be eventful. I want it in every state that I'm not even going to say which states. So I'm going to have it printed in every state. I'm writing my own obituary now. Because no one is going to lie on me. No one is going to use me as a stepping stool for their own ego or their own stories or their own falsities. I'm going to tell the truth about myself and how I got here and how I thrived and how I persevered, me against the world. Peace and love. I love everyone. I really want to, really want to thank everybody who's been on this journey with me. I adore you. I adore myself even more. This has been amazing. We're waiting for these DNA results. I just homeschooled, got this baby graduated. I'm super excited for her next journey. Super supportive because we're not doing non support. We're not doing alienation. We're not doing abandonment. We're going to stick together because guess what? We actually are all we got. Peace and love. I will talk to you soon.